If you converted an old FedEx van like we did, you may have gotten stuck with this old jump seat for the passenger. After a year of my wife coming home from flying, sitting in her plane jump seat all day, I think it was time we finally made the upgrade. Repurposing used items is not only a way to save money, it is also a great way to help the environment. It was actually the first junkyard we went to.
What do we have here? Let's get it.
Getting the chair off the pedestal was pretty easy. The difficult part was getting the bolts loose from underneath. So the pedestal is bolted down to the frame of the RV. They used a spray foam insulation which got in the grooves and completely covered one of the bolts. Now the first three came out with ease. And the last one, I used a flathead screwdriver to chip away as much as I could, and I used a torch from there. So the idea was to heat up and melt the foam that was stuck in the grooves. Now I should probably mention it's a better idea to use WD-40 after you torch the bolt.
Shoot.
Now the first thought in my head was Sarah saying,
It's a bunch of propane tanks.
Babe, get out. No, I got it.
Thankfully, I was wearing gloves, got the fire put out.
You're gonna have to hammer that one up for me to.
Okay.
I can't get a grip on it.
And we got the last bolt loose. The frame and pedestal was in great condition. We just had to replace the cushions and fabric. So we stripped it down to the frame. We sanded away all the rust. And then we put a fresh coat of paint on it. Sarah used scrap pieces of foam from when we made our first bed and cut it to fit the seat and backing. She sewed together an old bed sheet to keep the foam pieces tightly held together. After that, she attached the cushions to the metal frame using extra thick thread. She then measured the seat of the chair to determine how much fabric she needed. Always measure big because you can cut off the excess at the end. She used aluminum wiring to stretch the fabric tightly over the metal frame to keep it held in place. The fabric was also used from our first bed cushion covers. Besides the metal wiring, all the materials used were repurposed. It definitely makes things more challenging doing it this way, but the extra work is worth it, knowing we just helped the planet. Pinning the fabric down first helps it stay in place as you sew together each side of the chair. Now, I should mention this is not a sewing tutorial. If you've never sewn before, it is not that difficult, and there are plenty of videos out there to teach you. For the arms of the chair, we pieced together more foam scraps and used old socks to hold them tightly over the wood. We traced the base of the pedestal and marked the whole center of the floorboard. Now make sure you fit the chair before you drill the holes. Since the Sprinter van floorboard angles in, we had to build a platform so the pedestal was mounted level. We used a scrap piece of 3/4 inch plywood. After bolting the pedestal in place, all that is left is mounting the chair and tightening 4 screws. If you have any questions, feel free to ask below in the comments, and please like and subscribe if this video was helpful for you. So we could have paid anywhere from $500 to $1,000 for a new chair. Instead, we repurposed an old one, and we spent a total of $40.